everyone, welcome back to my channel and let's pick out my first read for TBR Harvest. If you don't know, TBR Harvest is a readathon that you can participate in throughout the whole month of October, and it is created by the amazing Leandra from Leandra the TBR Zero. This is a mammoth thing. You have Booktuber Bingo, you have the Pumpkin Patch board game, as well as the Mood Read scavenger hunt. So whatever kind of reader you are, you can find a game for you. If you're like me and you want to do all of it, I am already scared for us. But I'm gonna link my TBR video up above and down below. Check that one out just to hear me talk a bit more about this readathon, because this video is just for Booktuber Bingo and me trying to pick my first read. The way that this game works is that there are 10 different bingo boards that you can choose from. They're all different, they all have different numbers on it. And just like with regular bingo, you have 75 numbers that could be pulled throughout the month. Every single number is corresponding to a different booktuber or content creator that Leandra has reached out to and asked for a prompt. Some of them are fall related, some of them are channel related, and some of them are just plain weird. Which I'm all here for. And I'm so thankful that Leandra actually reached out and asked me to help her out and give her a prompt, and I was just too glad to do it. Now, because there are 10 different boards, you don't have all prompts on your board, so fate decides which prompts you will get. Like I said, 75 different prompts are awaiting us in this game. So when I picked my bingo board for the month that I wanted to play with, I did not know if my prompt was on there, so I just went with the same board that I used for Camp TBR-thon because I just felt lucky with that one because it has my birthday on it, 2 and 21. So I went with the same board, and because there are so many prompts, we have already started getting the different prompts. Each week we get 15 prompts. So midway through the month we will have all our prompts and we can figure out which bingo we want to go for, if not a blackout. We can triple up, double up, whatever works for us. So there is like a lot of ways that you can actually play this game. I have no idea how I'm gonna do it because I am trying to do so many different readathons, not only the different games of TBR Harvest, but other readathons as well. Again, check out my TBR video if you wanna see the chaos that is October. So I don't know yet what I'm gonna do. I am probably just gonna try to get any bingo on this board. Because fate decides, there are some boards that will have more prompts on them at the beginning, and there will be some unlucky ones that might only have one prompt for the first week. I mean, we aren't in October yet as of filming this, we are still a week away, but sometimes you just want to plan. If you already know like 5 or 6 prompts, you can kind of see if a book will fit multiple prompts if you want to double up. I was very lucky because my board actually has 5 prompts already on it after just 1 week of pulling the numbers. Each board will be completed at the midway point through October, so after that you can just see all the prompts, and if you want to wait until then and then decide which bingo you're going to go for, that works as well. You will still have maybe like 2 weeks to complete it. So this is going to be probably the only time that I'm going to go into depth into picking my book for this readathon. But I wanted to show you the thought process behind picking this, and I thought, why not start with this one? I'm going to show you the prompt, and then I'm going to show you the books that I could potentially read for this prompt, and then in the end I will pick one book to start off the month with. The other books might get read, but I want to start with one book at the beginning of the month because this is a month-long one, and I'm still debating on how to vlog about it. Because there are so many other different ideas for videos that I have, but I wanted to show you how you could go about it. Leandra's announcement video, of course, is linked down below, so go check out her video and go join us over on Discord where these prompts will be released each week. Without further ado, let's go into the first prompt that is on my board. Hi everyone, I'm Bee from Just Be Weird. Thank you so much, Leandra, for inviting me to be a part of this. I'm so excited. Over the last couple of years, I have become a fall girly, so I knew right away what prompt I wanted to give you guys, and that is to find a book with a fall-related word in the title. This can be interpreted in a number of ways. You might go for the actual word like harvest, or you can go with words that you relate with fall, like the dark hours. You can go with a book where the whole title is a mood. You can be as creative as you want with this challenge. Still in the mood for a summer romance because you always want something hot to go in those chilly nights. I'm gonna give you the leeway of spelling a fall related word. You might go for the sleepless because there's spell in there. And if this prompt comes up when you're in the middle of another book or you don't have the time, don't worry, just try to find a fall related activity that you can spell with a title and do that activity. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Happy TBR harvest. The way that I squealed when I saw my own face, I was like, yay! I'm in the first round. I was so glad and so happy that my prompt came up, and it is very fall heavy, I have to say. A lot of you are new here, so you might not know exactly who I am or what I do, or maybe you only found this because of TBR Harvest. So let me quickly tell you, I mostly read fantasy, but I read basically everything. I am a freelance editor and a bookseller, so of course for work I have to read other things as well. So there are like crossovers between different genres and different age ranges. So you might see a lot of different things on my channel. But for this readathon, I really wanted to go heavy on the fall theme, but also try to read books that are on my TBR, mostly my physical, but also my ARC TBR to get through some of them. So for my own prompt, I already showed a lot of different ways that I could use it, and I feel like, if I remember correctly, all of them are still on my TBR by the time this goes live. I might have read one or two while I was on vacation. I should be back now. So the two books that I want to mention here right now that I would most likely read for my own prompt are Bury Our Bones and The Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Like I said in the video, the way that I would use this is for the vibes, and I feel like bones, bury, midnight, all of those are words that I would use for like a creepy, spooky season. And this has vampires in them as well, so this is a contender. And then there's also A Harvest of Hearts that I would love to get to. This is compared to A House Moving Castle, which is a vibe that I can go for in the fall season. And like I said, harvest works perfectly for a fall related word. Let's get into the second prompt on my bingo board.
Hi Andrea, thank you so much for asking me to participate in Booktuber Bingo this year. My name is Mel from Mel Lenore Reads, and I have a book buying problem. I tend to buy things that I just see in the bookstore that sound good, something that somebody told me that I might like or I happen to see on social media. So I figured, since I'm an impulsive book buyer, that it was only natural that my prompt to be to read a book that you have impulsively put on your TBR. This can be a book that you went to the bookstore, read the back of, and went, sounds good, and didn't really know anything else about. This can be a book that you saw once on social media and was like, done, sold. Anything that you impulsively put on your TBR without really doing a lot of research or knowing a whole lot about is going to count for this one. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this prompt, and I cannot wait to participate in the readathon.
From Mel Lenore Reads, and I love her channel. I love her TBR game as well, and I can definitely relate to her prompt, and that is to read a book that was an impulse buy. I do that all the time. Usually I do try to find out a bit more about a book or what people were saying about it. A lot of the time I've already heard about it because of my work or because of BookTube, but there are some books that I just buy because I see them, I see they look good, and that's why I buy them. A lot of these are book purchases that I did when I went to Edinburgh with my sisters. Right now I'm not going to go too much into the synopses of these. If I narrow them down to some books, like for my first pick, I will talk a bit more about the books in question. The first book that I have here is The Skeleton Key by Erin Kelly. This, like I said, was an impulse buy in Edinburgh. It looked just so spooky, cozy, perfect for something to buy in Edinburgh, to be honest. And it is signed by the author, and it has been on my TBR for quite some time now. Two more books that I bought in Edinburgh were Lord of the Empty Isles, which is a sci-fi, cozy sci-fi. I always love that, and when I saw this cover, I could not leave the store without buying it. And then we have Dreamstalkers, The Night Train. I had to get this because I love trains in books, and the main character is called Bee. So I was like, yeah, sure, okay, I'll read about a bee. Then we have an impulse buy just because of the vibes of the cover, and that is The The Hedge Witch of Foxhall, which is a very like autumnal title. And then this, the way that I bought this within seconds of seeing this beautiful edition, I didn't even need to know anything more about the plot. I still don't know anything. His Face is the Sun by Michelle Chabes Corpora. I don't know if that's the right, but look at this. Look at this. Look at this map. I was like, here's my money, give me the book. I have to have it. So these are the options for that prompt.
Hello everyone, my name's Kelsey from Reads with Kelsey, and since I'm a Canadian booktuber, my prompt is going to be to read from a Canadian author. I have some recommendations here. I've read from all of these authors, not necessarily these books, but from all of these authors. First up, we have Ian Reid, Robin Harding, Ashley Audrain, Sherry Lapina, and Jennifer Hillier. Good luck.
Prompt was given by Kelsey from Reads with Kelsey, and that's actually a new booktuber for me, so I was so glad to go check out her channel, and I will watch more of her content. The prompt that she gave us was to read books by a Canadian author, and I don't know why, but every time there is a prompt about reading from a different country, I always get Canada. I don't know why, but I do. So I do have quite a collection that I still need to get to. So the books that I could read for this, and I'm hoping that I got all of this right and that all of these are really Canadian authors. Let me know if I made a mistake somewhere. So we have Olivia Atwater, so I could read 10,000 Stitches, which is the sequel to Half a Soul. Then we have anything by Sebastian de Castell. I have so many books of his on my shelves that I still need to read, need to continue some series, but this one just is yelling at me to finally read it. Then we have another sequel, and that is Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. I loved the first one. It has so much humor, and I've been hoping to get into the sequel quite quickly after reading the first one, so this is a possibility. And then we have Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee, and I want to say Fonda Lee is the one who is Canadian. I believe so. So this is another book that I could read for this prompt.
Hi everybody, I am Kelsey from Slime and Slashers, and I am also the creator of Halloweenathon, an event celebrating spooky season and Halloween. So in honor of that event, I decided to make my special prompt to read a book with a Halloween setting or with Halloween vibes. And the Halloween vibes, an example could be the book maybe takes place in a town where it's like it's Halloween 24/7. And an example of this are the two books by Cameron Chaney. He's here on YouTube as Library Macabre. Both of his books would be perfect examples of a book with a Halloween setting, because in Autumn Crow, the town in which this is set, it's like it's Halloween 24/7, 365. Thank you so much to Leandra for asking me to be a part of this. I hope you guys have fun fulfilling this prompt. And happy spooky season!
The next prompt is one that was given by Kelsey from Slime and Slashers, and she was another booktuber that I didn't know before this readathon, and I went and I checked out her channel already, and there were sprints yesterday for her own readathon that she is hosting over the spooky season, which is Halloweenathon, and she is so much fun. She has so much energy. The sprints were just amazing, and I felt welcomed right away, and I wanted to become a pumpkin head which is what she calls anybody who participates in Halloweenathon. And so I just decided on a whim to not only join her sprints but actually participate in the readathon. So it's not like I have already like 4 or 5 different readathons happening in October, but like what's one more? And in that readathon you also have multiple games that you could play and kind of do whatever works for you. It has to do with books but also with movies and with activities. And I actually used a random number generator to get 2 prompts for her board game so that I can participate without doing the whole game, because I don't think I have the time, to be honest. And I got 2 prompts that I can actually already use now when I'm filming this, because the readathon has already started. Maybe by the time that this video goes up and live, I might have already done those 2 prompts, and I might want to continue with the Halloweenathon. or I might not have time and not continue. But go check out her announcement video. I'm going to link that one down below as well. And this is also something that I love about Leandra's readathons. She always does it that you can participate in other readathons and use that for the prompts that she has on her games. So she's very inclusive in that aspect, and I love that. So that is why I also wanted to mention Kelsey's readathon right now. So a Halloween themed book, or like a book set around Halloween. I could do my reread of Pumpkinheads because Pumpkinheads. But I do want to actually read something that is on my TBR, and I've already read this, so this would be a reread. But I do try to get to it every Halloween, so this could work. But of course there are multiple witchy books that would work for this as well, because a lot of them are set around October. So we have The Witchery, we have The Witches of Moonshine Manor, and Shades of Rust and Ruin. I have the ARC for the sequel of this, so this should be a priority, but it is more horror and like more creepy than I normally read, so I don't know. So all of these are possibilities.
Hey there, I'm Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe, and I am someone who is doing a big TBR challenge for 2025 and really trying to tackle my TBR. So my prompt for you is to read the book that you have been dreading the most on your TBR. This can be because it's such a big book that you're intimidated by it, or it's a book that you've had for a long time and you're not sure you're still interested in it, or it could even be a 5-star prediction but you're dreading it because what if it isn't a 5-star? Feel free to interpret that prompt any which way you like. Happy reading.
And Olivia gave us the last prompt of this round and the last prompt that I had on my board, and her channel is called Olivia's Catastrophe, and she asked us to read a book that we dreaded. And I have multiple books that I could read for this. One that I've already shown you, and that is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. The reason why I would dread this is because it's supposed to have like a very toxic relationship in this, and that's not usually what I go for in my books. That's why I would dread it. Then we also have The Courting of Bristol Keats. If you've seen some of my TBRs, you will have seen this book. It has been on multiple ones since last December, and it is on my pile of shame for my game, for my own TBR game, because I have used it so often and I didn't read it, and now it's on my pile of shame and I need to get it off that pile immediately. The why I dread it is because it has fae in it, and I usually don't like fae stories. So that's why I normally don't reach for it. And then we also have The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This is actually a highly anticipated read for me, but where we ended up on the first book, like the cliffhanger, like where we ended up, wasn't my favorite situation that they were in. So I'm dreading going into this, afraid that it might not go the way that I like it. But I still want to continue with the series, so I need to get to this at some point. Okay, so those are all the books that I could read for all 5 prompts. At the moment, my bingo board looks like this. I can't do a bingo yet, but I feel like there are possibilities going forward. The best thing that I could do would be to read something that works for Mel's prompt, because there are 2 ways that I could get a bingo for this one. All the other ones only have like 1 bingo that I could see from the way that they're arranged right now. Of course, by the time, like I said, this goes up, there will be more prompts, and who knows what I will read. But for now, I will start with the impulse buy and go from there. And I actually put this on there as well because I had the ARC for this, but I still knew right away I needed to get the physical copy, so this was an impulse buy, even though I could have read it before buying it, but that just wasn't gonna happen. So I'm putting this on there as well. And like I said, by the time this goes live, I will have been on vacation, and I might read this for that, so this is out of the question because I might have already read it. This I don't feel like works for this time of year best, so this has to go away as well. And I feel like all of these have very like autumnal fall-esque feelings to it. If I look at the other prompts, what would work the best actually is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, because it has my prompt, it has very like fall-esque title. It works for the impulse buy and also works for the dread because of the toxic relationships. I don't feel like any of these, I mean, witch would work for mine as well, but I don't dread it. And it has, I don't think it's set around Halloween or is a Canadian author. I mean, if we want to like take stalkers or like night as a fall word, that could work, but I don't dread it. It's not set around Halloween and it's not a Canadian author. And with this one, I feel like skeleton would work for my own prompt, but I don't dread it, and it's not a Canadian author. It's not set around Halloween, I don't believe. So we are ending up on this one. So this is the first book that I'm going to read for this readathon, for TBR Harvest. I am going to start on the 1st of October, especially since V.E. Schwab is coming to Germany and I have tickets for her event, and I can't wait to go and see her and see what she says about this book. And of course I want to read it before meeting her and before I hear her talk about this book. My sister has already read it. She's going with me to the event and she said it was really good. This and The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue really got her into V.E. Schwab's work, so she's really obsessed with her now, so I need to catch up is what I'm saying. This is set in different timelines, I believe. It has vampires, it has a toxic relationship. I don't know much more else and I don't want to know more. I will read this once October hits. Let me know down in the comments if you're participating, what board you use, which of these prompts you would have gone for first, and let me know if you're already feeling autumnal or not. I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again to all the creators who gave prompts. Thanks to Leandra for including me in this amazing readathon. Thank you guys for watching, and until the next time, I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!